Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of the Live Ones. I am Big Matt, your capper extraordinaire. It is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022, and then there were 8. The last of the wild card matchups in the NFL playoffs wrapped up last night, and the Rams just absolutely spanked the Cardinals all up and down the field. I mean, it wasn't even close. I can remember back around Week 12 when the Cardinals were the prohibitive favorite, maybe not to win the Super Bowl, but certainly be in it, certainly win the NFC. There was just no one that was going to stop them. Surprise! For the second year in a row, the Cardinals faded badly during the second half of the season. Kind of apropos if you're a fan of college football, this was certainly a problem of Cliff Kingsbury during his time at Texas Tech. I feel like every year he was there, he'd start off 3-0, 4-0, 5-1, something like that, get into the top 25, and then immediately flame out as soon as conference play really got going. So we have our final 8, and we have their pairings. Joe Burrow and the Bengals head to Tennessee. I think that's a fairly even match, honestly. 49ers and the Packers will meet for what I feel is probably like the 200th time in the playoffs the last couple of decades. It's been a lot. Bills versus the Chiefs in a game that'll probably see 60 points or so. The total will open up at about 55. That's going to go up before the weekend. And the Rams head to Tampa for a rematch of the Week 3 game that made us all think the Rams were headed to the Super Bowl. Fun times abound. We will have plenty to say about those games as we get closer to the weekend. The big news today is Cleveland Browns defensive tackle Malik McDowell being arrested in Deerfield Beach, Florida, after police say he walked naked into a children's learning center before violently attacking a police officer who was there trying to get him out of there. Just really terrible news for a guy who's gotten a lot of chances over the last 5 years. McDowell was the second-round draft pick of the Seahawks in 2017, but he never played a single snap for them. Just before training camp his rookie year, he got into an ATV accident and got arrested after that accident, once for driving while intoxicated and once for disorderly conduct. Guy just has a whole lot of problems with substance abuse. He was arrested again in 2019 for resisting arrest, operating a vehicle while under the influence, and assault, and then again on charges related to the possession of stolen property. So he was sentenced to 11 months in jail, but apparently never served any of it. Must be nice. He got probation instead and got a second chance with the Browns this year, where he actually played pretty decently. He had 33 tackles and 3 sacks on the season. Not a mega superstar contract by any means, but certainly numbers that would get him a decent career if he kept his act together. Now, you hear naked in conjunction with Children's Learning Center, and probably the best case scenario is drugs or alcohol being involved, and McDowell not really just knowing what he was doing. The fact that he did this while on probation means the legal headache now is probably going to end his NFL career. Just one among thousands and thousands of cases of what could have been in the history of pro sports. The pressure is just way too much for most people to keep their demons at bay. We had a phenomenal Monday. If you watched the show yesterday, we went 6-1 to open up the week over 4.5 units up. We're going to keep it going today. It's a very short slate of action, but an important one in college hoops. A lot of great conference games going on tonight. Let's get right to them, and we're going to start in the ACC with North Carolina and Miami. I had really hoped Miami's loss to Florida State a week ago would stop this ridiculous hype train. The ACC is absolute garbage this year, okay? I would be shocked if anyone other than Duke and North Carolina got themselves a bid this year. It's not that hard to stand head and shoulders above this conference. No such luck. Miami is only a 2.5-point home dog to North Carolina, despite being completely outmatched on offense, defense, rebounding, and probably most importantly, size. Absolutely no one on the Hurricanes is going to be able to stand in the way of North Carolina's forwards. 6'10" Armando Maycott, 6'9" Brandy Manick, and 6'11" Dawson Garcia. Guys who together average 45 points, 22 rebounds, and well over 50% shooting from the floor. They're going to feast tonight, and they're going to bottle up and contain Miami's little quick guys in the paint on the other end and make them shoot threes, which they are pedestrian at best at. Give me North Carolina minus 2.5. They are clearly the more talented team. The Hurricanes are massively overhyped. And a second loss in a row to a conference opponent is where I think we start to see their expectations start to come back down to earth. Over to the Big 12, and the feature game of the night showcases two of the nation's top defenses in Texas Tech, coming off a loss at Kansas State and Iowa State, fresh off an emotional home win over Texas. When these two teams met earlier this month in Ames, Texas Tech only had 7 total players available due to injuries and COVID, and 2 of those eventually fouled out. It was a 51-47 win by the Cyclones. Now, I fully expect the Red Raiders to be a lot better on offense tonight. They're close to full strength. but that is still a total that didn't even hit 100 the last time around. A game in that vein is along the lines of what I'm expecting tonight. Obviously not that low. The shooting percentage is going to be a whole lot better tonight. But again, these are two incredible defenses and two very careful, conservative offenses. The total for this game opened up at 124, rocketed up to 130.5, and has now settled at 128.5. I think it opened at exactly the right number, and I think you're getting the under at a bargain price tonight. So that's my play, under 128.5 points. Moving up to the Big Ten, and there is just no stepping in front of the Wisconsin Badgers right now. They are rolling with 6 victories in a row while starting Big Ten play 5-1, including wins over Purdue, Iowa, and Ohio State. The offense is led by Johnny Davis, who I fully expect at this point to be a top 10 NBA draft pick next year, maybe even top 5, if he continues to show the kind of flash he has so far. Northwestern finally ended their conference losing streak with a win over Michigan State in a game that was just really sloppy by both teams and could have gone either way. Northwestern has allowed opponents to average almost 80 points a game in this bad stretch over the last 5 games they've played. Wildcats star forward Pete Nance is questionable again with an ankle injury. They still haven't announced whether or not he's in. If he's out, Northwestern will have no offensive weapons to match Wisconsin's defense. Even if he does play, I doubt he's going to be 100%. Everything is pushing towards a solid Wisconsin win here. Give me the Badgers -2.5 here. Okay, so over to the NBA, and we're headed out to the West Coast. There are only 2 games on the slate tonight, but we do have a play on one of them, and that is the Pistons and the Warriors. And if you just took these 2 rosters at their full complements, this would be probably one of the most lopsided possible mismatches in the NBA right now. Golden State Warriors, at one point, both the number 1 offense and number 1 defense in the league, against the hapless Detroit Pistons, trying everything possible to offload their 1-star forward before the trade deadline, leaving the team's fans with nothing to get excited about except their rookie first overall pick, Cade Cunningham. Guys, I feel you, Detroit fans. It's the NBA. It takes a couple of bites at that draft apple to get a couple of superstar players if you can't be a free agent destination. We went through it in Philadelphia for 4 years. I fully sympathize with what you're going through right now. But it's not a fun time for the Warriors right now either. Draymond Green is out for at least the rest of the month with a disc issue in his back, and Steph Curry is fighting a sore hand as well as a prolonged slump. That being said, the Pistons are still reliably a team that's absolute dog shit on the road. 3-18 straight up and 9-12 against the spread. They constantly struggle to hit 100 points when they travel. I think that continues tonight against a defense that is still among the best in the league, even without Draymond Green. Giving the Pistons team total under 101.5 points tonight. And last but not least, over to the NHL, Flyers and the Islanders. This one's not hard, folks. The Flyers can't win a game. They can't buy an offense to save their lives. They just got clobbered by the Islanders last night 4-1 in a game we won the underbet on, incidentally. And somehow they're only -125 underdogs to the Islanders on the back end of a home-and-home tonight. I really think the Flyers have packed it in for the season. There's just no way to make it into the postseason with the hole they find themselves in right now at the halfway mark of the season. This is just a team that's, frankly, is never going to be good again while they're owned by a cable TV company that has absolutely no accountability for the team's performance on the ice. As long as the games keep selling out, the TV viewership stays steady, and the money keeps rolling in. It's another lost year for us Philadelphia fans in hockey. Take the Islanders as the -125 favorites tonight. That is it for me. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at LiveOneSports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Tuesday night, and I will see you tomorrow.